Hello, hope you all are doing fine. Coming to the remote sensing and GIS, coming to another part of unit 2. We have already completed the types and characteristics of sensors, the concept of monoband, multispectral and hyperspectral remote sensing. So today we will try to understand the basics, okay, on basics of optical remote sensing. Here also there is a lot, many things that can be told within just monoband, but here because you are just to understand the concepts, so we have understood only that part. Okay, so coming to the basics of optical, thermal and microwave remote sensing, today we will understand the basic of optical remote sensing. Various references have been used to make this presentation, so let us understand optical remote sensing. Optical remote sensing, it makes use of visible, near infrared and short wave infrared sensors to form images of the earth's surface by detecting the solar radiation reflected from the targets of the ground. Okay, so what does it do? It uses the visible, near infrared and short wave infrared. Okay, we have already studied about what visible, what near infrared and what short wave infrared length is. So visible ranges from 0.3 to 0.4 to 0.7. Okay, so the visible part 0.4 to 0.7, then the infrared part, and then the short wave infrared part, that is before 8 micrometer. Okay, that is used for optical remote sensing. In fact, okay, this I keep this to you, that you write down various ranges of the atmospheric window of visible, near infrared and short wave infrared, although I have already told it here. So optical remote sensing, it can be done in three ways: by photogrammetry, the way photography, the way you see those stereo pairs in photogeology, by using thermal scanners, and multispectral can also be done. Okay, within this various bands can be used for multispectral. Only the infrared and the short wave infrared can be used for thermal scanning, and the photograph can be done in the 0.4 to 0.7 micrometer range, giving only more monoband, that is giving the black and white images to us. Okay, in only one band. Those we may not get images, we get photographs there. So photographs are different from images in terms that the images, I already told in the previous lecture also, the images, they have various pixels which have particular amount of energy saved in them. That energy is identified on the basis of digital number. Okay, we will discuss about digital number in the coming classes. So we can take photographs. Photographs means the way you take a photograph in photographic films. And when we talk about image, we are talking about scanning. We are scanning each and every single point with respect to the IFOV, which represents the pixel in the image. So a photograph will not have pixel, but the image will have pixel. Okay, so the optical remote sensing system, it can be classified into panchromatic imaging system in one band, multispectral from 3 to 10 band, super, this word is used sometime but not many a times, this is rarely used, it can be between 10 to 50 bands, and hyperspectral, that is more than 50 bands. Okay, so if we talk about monoband panchromatic imaging system, that the sensor is a single channel detector which is sensitive to radiation within a broad wavelength range. That means the bandwidth will be very large. Okay, the wavelength range coincides with the visible range, then the resulting image resembles a black and white photograph, because the white light which has VIBGYOR, it is the visible light. So what we see is black or white only. The black is denoted by 0 and the white is denoted by 1. So the binary numbers are used to give the DN values to these black and white images, okay, or they may be in the form of black and white photographs also. The physical quantity being measured in is the apparent brightness of the target, which tells about the amount of energy which has been reflected, okay. So some examples are Worldview 1 sensor, Iconospan spot sensor, okay. So talking about panchromatic, if we are using only the green band, we get a black and white display. The band being used is the green one. This is the image that we will get. If we are using the red band, the display or the analog which we will be getting, the photograph that we will get will be a black and white one. This will be the resultant. So here you see within green you have shades of gray here. That means the radiometric resolution is better. This shows the amount of sediments may be, okay, the variation, the topography may be. It depends upon the interpretation of the interpreter that time, okay. So here we can see two different types of panchromatic images which have been taken in different bands, monobands. This is one panchromatic image, this is another panchromatic image taken in green band, taken in red band. Both will be different in terms of interpretation. They give us more information here, the lesser here, okay. So depending upon our need, we can make use of various bands, monobands. Talking about multispectral imaging system, the sensor is a multi-channel detector which has few spectral bands, okay. It is sensitive to radiation with a narrow wavelength band, and the images, the resulting image is a multi-layer image. So here we get a photograph, but here we get a image, okay. If it is taken from the satellite, it may be a panchromatic imagery though. So the examples of multispectral systems are ALOS, Landsat MMS, SPOT, EGNOS MS. If we see the specifications of Landsat, the blue-green ranges from 0.45 to 0.52. Likewise for panchromatic and short-wave infrared and near-infrared and red, etc. Talking about hyperspectral imaging system, as I told you in the previous lecture, the electromagnetic energy, it is taken by the collimator, then comes grating, and then it is detected by some unit. Likewise, the hyperspectral imaging system also works. We can identify various spectral bands in it. So they are more than 100 sometimes, okay. So precise spectral information is obtained using hyperspectral imaging. It has potential application in fields of agriculture, coastal management, okay, and they are used in as Hyperion and Everest. These are various sensors which are used in hyperspectral system, okay. So hyperspectral imaging system is very useful in oceanography. You are studying oceanography in this semester. So while studying oceanography, we make best use of remote sensing also, right? Alright, thank you. Please feel free to ask questions. Let us revise a little bit. We talked about the optical remote sensing. So optical remote sensing makes use of visible, near infrared and short wave infrared sensor. It can be done in three possible ways: photography, thermal scanner and multispectral, okay. The optical remote sensing system, it can be hence divided into four types: panchromatic, multispectral, superspectral or hyperspectral. You can also write panchromatic, multispectral or hyperspectral only. You can leave it superspectral because it is not used often, okay. So monoband has a single channel. We get in the visible range, and it is black and white. Photograph are obtained. If it is taken from the satellite, then we can get a black and white imagery also. So these give variation in the apparent brightness depending upon the amount of energy which is reflected. Various examples of the system are given here, and then we saw two panchromatic images in green band and red band. These are monoband images, okay. Then we talked about multispectral images, where we understood that we take multi-channel detector, different layers are put one upon another depending upon the narrow wavelength band that is used. Okay, so the examples of the multispectral systems are also, we also discussed that. Then we talked about hyperspectral imaging system. In this, more than 100 contiguous spectral bands can be identified, and these are used to give precise spectral information and are very potential in understanding coastal environment and agriculture. And then we also understood the examples of hyperspectral system. Okay, while writing notes, we will also make use of books. So while you are noting down what I am telling in the presentation here, keep some space so that in the next lecture, when I'll discuss along with the book, I'll ask you to mark some of the points there. I'll highlight it and then you can jot it down in your copies. Okay, because the more I explain using a book, the lesser interesting the lecture will become for you. So I'm trying to make you understand first, so that once you understand, after that you make notes precisely. Okay, so while making notes, we will make use of the book also. So keep some space. Okay, and keep asking questions, please. I'm saying again and again, if you don't ask question, I'll understand that you are understanding only. Okay then, take care. Thank you so much.